we're going to start in 1 minute. We will start in 1 minute. Good morning, Soretta, Amanda, Alan, Chantal, Isabelle. We're going to start in 1 minute. Good morning, everyone. Hope you've had your coffee. I'm still having mine. We're going to start shortly on how to do business with the City of Cape Town. Okay, while we get started, for those of you that are there, Naomi is going to post a register. Naomi, we can please post the register that is for attendance today, to say that you were here. This is a certificate course, so you will get a certificate. So Naeem will post it in the chat. So if you go right at the bottom, you'll see the chat box. You'll see a link. Please click on the link and complete the attendance register. We will then send you the PowerPoint presentation, and any content that we are covering today, we will send you via email. Okay, so we will send you all the content that we're covering, so you don't have to take a lot of notes of the PowerPoints. We will send it to you if you please complete the registers. So please complete the registers attached in the chat box. I know that some phones, you can't access the link. Then you can just please in the chat box put your email address, and Naeem will email it to you. Naeem is assisting on the back end, so he will email you the attendance register. Okay, Naeem, you just need to keep posting it so that participants can complete it. There's one, Chantal Trust link. If you cannot click on it on your phone, Naeem, can you please send it to Chantal? Good morning and welcome. If you have just joined us, good morning and welcome, everyone. If you have just joined us, we have a registration link right at the bottom in your chat box. So please complete the registration link so that we know that you are here and that you have attended. We will also have later on a feedback form, which will be to the more or less to the end of the session, so that we know that you actually stayed on for the whole session. Okay, so but if you just joined us, welcome, and please complete the register. It is in the chat box right at the bottom. If you are having a problem logging on to the link, I know that some phones doesn't have the capacity to be able to do that. You can just put your email address and Naeem will send you the attendance register link so that you can complete that. Okay, so we're going to get started. Okay, so remember we're here to look at businesses and how to do work with the city. So firstly, if I can maybe just get just a show of the businesses that is currently here, who is registered with the City of Cape Town as a vendor, and who is not. So if you can just give me an indication in the chat box at the bottom. And I know we always have people that is not very familiar with the technology, so it would also give us a chance to play around with the platform. So if you are registered with the city, you can give me a yes. If you are not registered with the city, then it will be no. In the chat box right at the bottom of your screen, you will see chat. You can just put, are you registered with the city? So Chantal says no. Okay, anyone else? Yes, Jaco's registered, great. Yazid's registered, perfect. Eleanor, no. Soretta, no. Bruce, yes. So it's roughly 50-50 at the moment. At the moment it's 50-50. Half registered, half not registered yet. But we're going to go through the process of how to do that registration. If you are registered on the platforms, we're also going to go through how to complete an RFQ, online. And if you have not completed one, we're gonna look at also on how to improve your chances of getting work through the city, right? So we're gonna cover that shortly. I think we can actually get started. And we're going to do some more interactive activities a little bit later, because we know that participants does oh, I muted, I can't hear you. Can everyone hear me? Naeem, how's my sound?
We can hear you fine.
Okay, perfect. So if your sound is low, then it's your volume or your mics on your device. Okay. So we're going to carry on. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, make it full screen. And then we're going to get started. As we go through, guys, please, it's important that you understand the content that we are covering. So if you are not clear, please rather ask a question. You can easily put it in the chat box right at the bottom. And if it's something that is very, very urgent, you can also unmute yourself, because I would rather deal with the question while we're covering the topic, rather than we move off and you actually forget what you were not clear about. Okay, so please feel free to stop me. Naeem, if I should miss any of the questions in the chat box as I'm going through it, you can just bring it to my attention. Okay, so if you look at where we are now with the city, right? So firstly, 14.8 billion rands currently being spent by the city. I mean, there's no one that spends more money than government. Okay, that is very, very clear for everyone. So every year there's money that is being spent that is not done. They cannot go, the city cannot go themselves. If they need some coffee, go to the shop and go and buy the coffee themselves. No, that is not how it works. They need to go to someone that sells coffee. You need to register as a vendor. Okay, they'll go to you. What does it cost to supply the coffee? They will pay them they'll give them the money for the coffee, and then they'll deliver the coffee to the city. And this is how the city procures. Okay, so there was more than 14,000 vendors registered in everything that the city needs. They need to get someone to do it. Okay, so it doesn't matter what industry you're in, what services that you are offering, there is an opportunity for you to be able to do business with the city, right? Whether you were PTY, whether you were MPO, whether you were sole proprietor, you can do business with the city. And that is done through RFQs, which the city puts out every single day through the platforms. And out of that, 52%, okay, is going to small businesses with a level 1 to 4. Okay, and remember, if you're a small business starting out, you're a Black-owned business, immediately you are level 1. You are level 1. So the majority of the work is actually going to small businesses. So obviously, there's a huge opportunity for you to be able to do business with the city. So yes, the city has a constitution. They have preferential procurement policy which guides how they procure. They cannot just do anything. There is a lot of structure. There is red tape, yes, but that is to make sure that things are happening the way they're supposed to. Okay, there's a Municipal Finance Act which governs how money can be drawn from the treasury. Okay, there's supply chain management regulations, and there's obviously the broad-based Black Economic Empowerment Act that has been put in place to give an advantage to smaller businesses, Black-owned businesses, to allow them to compete with bigger companies, right? So they put that in place to say, you know what, out of scoring, so you do business with the city, they're going to score you out of 100. But if you're a small business, right, under 10 million, Black-owned business level 1, you get 20 points out of 100 just for being small, which is an advantage over the bigger companies to sort of even the playing fields. Okay. And the reason for that is to make sure that it's fair, right? To make sure that the process is fair. Because I mean, wouldn't it be fair to expect you to compete with the Waltons, okay? With big blue chip companies. So what government said, no, we want to make it fair. We're going to give you 20 points out of 100 because you are a small business. Okay, it needs to be equitable, and this is why the policy, the processes, everything is there. Equitable, it means that the process for one needs to be the same for someone else. So if someone comes, the set of rules that applies to the one needs to be the same for someone else. So it cannot change. And this is why when you look at the processes that you go through when you procure, everything is traceable. Okay, so it's traceable, which means that, you know, if they've gone through a process and they've made a decision, right, to say, I'm going with this supplier, there need to be reasons for that. They need to say, this is how it was scored. This is why we've made that decision. And everything is documented so we can go back and check that everything was done according to policy and done fairly. It needs to be transparent, which means that if you bid on an RFQ, right, you want to do work and people say, its chances is very slim, right? They don't know. The reason why we're saying it's transparent, because it is your right. If you bid and you charge, let's say 10,000 rands for a job, to do a job, you can go back and request, you know what, where was it, who got that job? Who was it awarded to and what did they charge? That is public information. It is information that must be shared to everyone so that you know what, it was awarded to this company. I charged 10,000. This company charged 8,000 rands. So they got it because their costing was lower. But it's also there to make sure for you, if someone, let's say you charge 10,000 rands and someone charged 20,000, then it's right. It needs to be open, right? And then, yes, the government's saying, they say that if you feel that you're unhappy, right, you can then, there is a process that you can follow up to inquire, well, why did you go with a supplier, a business, okay, that charged double what I charged, and we provide the same services, we have the same references, we have the same experience, with the same size, but they charge twice as much as what we charged, and it was awarded to them. Why? Right? It's your right for them to respond. Right? They cannot say it's not your interest. You don't need to know that. There's no such thing, and this is why we're having this session, is so that you're clear on the structure, the policy that is put in place. And you're aware that the project managers need to actually share that information. It needs to be competitive. The city don't want to overpay. So, and we see this over and over again. You know, the average bid price is 50,000 rands for a job, and there's companies coming in at 200,000. Obviously, the city doesn't want to waste money. They have a lot of money. Yes, they do have billions, but they don't want to waste it. Okay, so they want competitive pricing, and cost carries weight, right? You must remember, most of the bids is 80-20, so cost is an issue. So you cannot overcharge. And if you compare government, right, to corporates, on average, just generally speaking, the government's rates is roughly about 25% less than corporate rates. Okay. And that is because there's bulk work. They give you lots of work, and they want a competitive rate. The cost effectiveness we've mentioned. Having said cost effective, they also, irrespective, even if your cost is also too low, remember they still have to deliver the work. So if they feel your costing is too low, they might not accept your bid either. Okay, so your costing need to be spot on. Okay, So we look at the transparency, right? There's no restrictions for people to do business. This is what government has said. They've made it easy for you to do business. And remember, there is a new online e-services platform. So those of you that said, yes, I'm registered, I'm assuming you are registered on the new e-services portal. And the e-services portal allows you to receive your tenders online and complete it online for the purpose of making it easy. You know, you don't have to leave your home. You don't have to print documents on the RFQs that is under 200,000. You don't have to go and drop it in the box in the city of Cape Town like they used to do. You can actually sit in your home. You can actually sit in bed nicely and do an RFQ in just a few minutes. Fully online. You can register also fully online, and this all took place during COVID to make things easier for you. Okay, so everything needs to be procured above 2,000 rands. Okay, it needs to be advertised. Remember, it needs to be fair. They cannot say, oh, I have my brother, I know someone, either brother or sister that does this, I can send it to them. I don't have to send it to anyone else. It's not how it works. Okay, this is why we have the policy and the process which governs how things needs to be done. It has to be advertised to everyone. And I know that, you know, we get these emails all the time, and you guys know what I'm referring to. They send an email, please quote for this, please quote, it's very urgent, quote for this part, number 372851. This is what we need. Please, guys, those things are scams. So let's be clear. I know it's great. You think there's a way I can make easy money, and you think in your mind, it's too good to be true. This thing is available. There's someone that does it. I can make a quick buck, right? And when you think that, yes, those are scams. Remember, the city needs to advertise it so that everyone has an opportunity to tender. And remember, this is why the city has the new e-services portal, because the RFQs that they request, and you register in 5 categories with the city, right? Whether you're in construction, whether you're supplying bricks, whether you're doing this, you select 5 categories, and you are only going to receive tenders, RFQs that they require in those fields. You're not going to get everything, right? Remember, it used to be on a portal before with all the tenders on, and it was great. You know, you could go and see what there is and just let me do this, right? You're in construction, but, you know, there is a catering job that's there. Oh, why not do catering? Let's do catering. There's one that needs to supply medical equipment. I'm not registered. It's not my industry, but I see it and I'm going to do it. And I do a quote. If I get it, I'm going to outsource it. So those guys were called tenderpreneurs. Yep, there's a name for them. They tenderpreneurs. So they don't have businesses in those sectors. They just do the tenders and they outsource it. So government says, no, we don't want to do that. It's just a lot of work. It is a lot of work, you know, to sift through hundreds and hundreds, you know, of proposals. So government said, no. If you're in construction, you get construction contracts. If you are in engineering, you get engineering contracts, right? If you are in supplies, you supply chemicals, great. When they need chemicals, you are only going to receive those RFQs is going to come to your profile where you complete it online. Okay, so this is how it works. This is how it works, and we're going to go through that process very, very quickly. And I know I'm moving very fast because I want to cover a lot in the time. We know that you have businesses and you cannot sit the whole day in front of your computer or in webinars. So we're going to cover it as quickly as possible. But if I'm going too fast, please stop me. Okay. So it's independent. So there's committees. So remember, it's not one person that actually decides on an RFQ, who's it going to go to, who's going to get it. There is committees. It's people sitting around the table. Okay, and bearing in mind that it's still COVID regulations that is there. So some of them are working remotely, but they decide collectively, and it's not one person. Okay, they put their input in and they decide on who is the best. And that whole process is recorded and documented. And there's also an appeals process, which means that if you are not happy, you know you have the experience, you know your costing is right. You have a good costing, it is spot on. You have the references, you have the qualifications, you've done all of that, you submitted everything, but it was awarded to someone else. They charged 3 times more than you, and you feel you're not happy with this, right? It is your right to say, you know what, I'm not happy. All you do is you send an email through to the project manager. You say, you're not happy with the process. Can they reevaluate, right? Then what happens is, right, another department, not the same department, it's another department comes in. It's a special unit in the city, and they're going to re-evaluate. The process is stopped. Okay, the process is stopped. Even if it was going to be awarded to that company, it is stopped because now you objected. You're saying, no, you're not happy. They're going to reevaluate, right? They must. It's not if they want to. It's not if they want to. They're going to reevaluate. Okay, they're going to check the scoring. Was it right? Right? You know, why did you award it to this company? And they'll need to motivate. The project managers needs to motivate. Procurement departments needs to motivate. Yeah, well, we went with this guy. Costing was slightly more, but this company was offering additional services that we wanted. You know, they were offering this, this, and this. There was a job creation opportunity that they've added to the project, and they've offered this and this and this and this. They had more experience, more qualifications, you know, and it was more, they knew exactly what we wanted. It was different to the other one. And they will motivate like that, and then a decision will be reached eventually. So that is the process going forward. Most bids are 80-20, which means 80% on price. We said price is key for government, right? And 20% we've said for your BEE. Okay, so if you're level 1, you are getting 20 points. Bids, the bigger ones, and remember there is still tenders that is there. So the boxes is still at the City of Cape Town, and that is, but those are the bigger tenders. Those are the 50 million tenders, and those are 90-10, which means 90% price, okay, and 10% BEE. So price is more important on the bigger ones, okay, and that is simply because there is not sufficient businesses, right, in that can play in that arena. And the city would love, look, it's much easier. It's much easier for the city to put the tenders as well, you know, on the e-services portal. And it's something that they want to do, but they cannot. And the reason why is not enough vendors, right? Because remember, everyone needs to be on those platforms in order to advertise on those platforms, to do it online. It's just easier, less administrative work, less printing work. You don't have to print everything out. You know, it is easier for everyone. The whole process of invoicing, you know, submitting your statements, payment is all done online. Okay, so obviously it's easier, but the problem is there is not enough vendors registered on those platforms, and this is why we're actually having this webinar, is to make sure that there are more vendors registered with the city. Okay, so what do you need to get started? For those of you that had the no's, that did not register, okay, what we're saying is that you need to have a letter of authorization. Remember, the platforms is online, so you're doing an online. So you need to say, firstly, I'm the owner. I have authority to sign, because you remember, you don't have an actual document that you're signing. Everything is done online. Or this person is an administrator, but I'm giving this person the right to be able to complete tenders and sign on behalf of the company. Okay, you need copies of your IDs for all the directors. You need to be registered on the central supplier database. Okay, and hopefully you guys are. Remember, that is the national body, right? So any government entity, right, in South Africa, you need to be registered on the central supplier database first. Remember, it's the same documents you're going to require on the City of Cape Town the website. This documents you're also going to require on the central supplier database. So you're going to PDF all your documents, all these documents that I'm going through right now. You put it in a nice file on your computer, and when you're doing your CSD, Central Supplier Database registration, right, you're then going to do the same thing and register online on the City of Cape Town website. And remember, it is linked. So the City of Cape Town is linked to CSD. If your status moves from compliant to non-compliant, immediately you're not compliant and you cannot do work with the city. I need to explain how this works, right? Before, you had your, for example, your tax clearance certificate. Right now they have a tax clearance PIN. It's not a certificate anymore, right? But it's a live document. When I say a live document, it means that, you know, it's not valid like it used to be for a year, right? And that was really great times, because at least you had your certificate, at least you know for a year you are sorted. Now it is a document, is a live document, which means that if you fall behind today on your tax, right? You're VAT registered, you fall behind and you've never paid your VAT, you've never paid your pay as you earn, you're falling behind by 1 cent, you are now non-compliant on tax. Immediately, CSD is going to say you're non-compliant. As a result, immediately the City of Cape Town will pick up that you're non-compliant and you cannot do work with the city. If you have an order and you've done a job for the city, right, you are not getting paid. Listen, this is how it works. So you are not getting paid because you're non-compliant. So this is very important, and it's for you to go onto these platforms and check, yes, is everything compliant on these platforms? Are you compliant? Then you know you can do business, because they check before, and before you award it, they need to check all of these compliance. Yes, are you registered? And many times we have clients that contact us because, I mean, we don't go on every day, and then we're behind with a few rand on our, you know, on our tax, and then we have to go and sort it out before a contract can be awarded. Okay, proof of address, the tax PIN we need, sworn affidavit or BE. Remember, we don't have, you don't need a certificate anymore. The government's done away with that, because, I mean, it was just money, needless money going out, you know, to buy the certificates. So now you can just go to the police station with an affidavit and saying, I am a small business, my turnover is under 10 million, have that stamped, and that is your BE document, which you're going to upload. Remember, the dates are very, very important. So please, guys, for simplicity, to make things easier for you when you register, make sure it's all on the same date. So if you go and do your BEE, you go to the police station, you get that done, you get your bank confirmation letter same day. Remember, you don't have to go to the bank, you can get it online. Most banks, you go online, you get your bank account confirmation letter. You don't need a bank signatory letter anymore, okay, because we know that there was an issue with FNB. FNB does not issue signatory letters, so they've done away with it. So just your bank confirmation letter, your CIPC documents. Those documents is important to so that you know so that they know which industry you're in. Remember, you can only select 5 categories, right? So the categories that you're in, if you're in construction, you can obviously register for industry spin-offs from that. So you can supply bricks, you can supply building materials as well. You can do architecture. It's all linked. So you can register as an engineering company, civil engineering, for instance. It's linked to construction, but it's different industry. So that's why we're giving you 5. You can select 5 categories. You can change your category. So it's not like you're going to be stuck with the 5 categories forever. You can change it. You can go onto your profile and change it at any point in time. Okay. Prohibition award. I need to explain what this is. And I know that most of you guys know this, that has done work with government before. If you have a brother, sister, aunt, anyone that is working for the city, you have to exclude yourself from that RFQ. And this is why the statement, there is someone has raised their hands. Okay, Ranzo, go for it. You have a question.
Yes, I've got a question. I just want to backtrack to what you said earlier regarding the document bearing the same date, the BE certificate and the proof of banking. How is that an issue if they don't have the same date on?
It doesn't need to be. It's just, remember, your certificates is valid for 1 year, right? So if you ideally want to do all of this at the same time, so that when you do it, then you know this time next year I can go and do all of these things, right?
Oh,
otherwise it's going to be every year things are going to expire. Now you need to run around and do it. So it makes it a lot easier if it's all done on the same time, or same day. Now you know, okay, great, I'm going to do it this time, and then everything is done, rather than you running around throughout the year, doing it. And there is a requirement also that some departments request that your affidavit, your BE affidavit, and your WBCD form, the form saying you don't have a brother and sister, also need to be on the same date. So that's why it's just easier. It's just easier for you, and that's why I just recommended rather doing it on the same time. And then at least once a year you're going to, because remember, you're going to do it yourself. You're going to do that and upload it. You'll get a reminder, but at least you can do it once, and then it's done for another year. You don't have to worry then for another year. So that's the main reason for that. Okay.
So the bank confirmation is also valid for a year.
Everything is valid.
I do that. Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Everything.
Okay,
so all your documents is valid, and then you upload all of that on the same time. Also, this statement, right? Your WCBD forms to say I don't have a brother. You're going to upload this, and this also, everything expires, and then you're going to have to update all of that as well. Okay.
Okay, thanks, Khalid. Noted.
Thank you. So just to be clear also on what we're saying, if you have a brother or sister or any family member, right? What we're saying is that, when things is going fine, there's no issues. But when things go wrong, you would find some don't even know they have a brother or aunt or whatever working, let's say for the traffic department. It's also city. So it's also city of Cape Town. So they say, oh, but yeah, it's got nothing to do. It's got nothing to do with, they're not in procurement, right? Which is fine. It's understandable that they're not in procurement. They really have nothing to do with making a decision, on an award. You understand? But then what we're saying is, then you just need to note it, right? So it's not like you're going to be, you won't be excluded from it, but you are saying, yes, this is a family member, it's an aunt or it's a cousin or whatever, and it's working there. It's got nothing to do with it. You're going to declare it. That's all we're saying, and you're not going to be excluded because it's a totally different department, and that is why we're saying rather mention it because the city will pick it up. Remember, they are linked. ID numbers, they pick up ID numbers, and it's a computer that does it. It's a computer. It's not a person. So if you are registered, even if you have two companies, and this is where a lot of businesses that register, they struggle to register on the platform. Some of them struggle for a long time because they have registered, the ID number is registered with another business that they've sold maybe years ago, because they are also registered with CIPC, right? The city is linked to CIPC. So if your ID number is picked up in another entity, you cannot register two entities with the city, right? Because obviously if you register two companies, the one can go in high and the one can go in low, and your chances of getting it it's obviously a lot better. So the city, you cannot do that. So the city picks it up on ID numbers. They linked and it picks it up immediately. Immediately it picks it up. So this document is signed, and you actually go and check it every single time you do an RFQ. You need to do this. So you can't say, oh, I forgot, or I didn't know. So every time you submit a bid, this is something you're going to sign. So you cannot say, well, I didn't know. Okay. Every time you bid, you're going to sign this document. You're going to sign this document. It's the same document. So you cannot say, well, I didn't know. Okay. So very, very briefly, this is how the process works. Remember, they're going to procure, they're going to put out the specifications, right? When they put the specifications out, the city say, we require this. It is your responsibility to make sure that you understand what the city wants. I need to be clear on this, right? Remember, the city knows what they want. You quoting on their job, it's online. You're not speaking to a person, right? If it's a site, you're doing a site construction and doing a site visit, it's fine. You are actually right there. You can see this and they will tell you this is what we want. We want this geyser removed. We want that removed. We need this painted. It's very, very clear. But if there's no site visit and you have a document in front of you saying that we require these units and we require this service, you understand? And what you have in your mind is different to what they want. You're going to pay what they want. So if they say, we want a Rolls Royce, and in your mind, you think, they want a Ford. Not to knock the Ford, but we're just saying it's two different things. The one is that they want a Rolls Royce, and you charge for a Ford, and they want a Rolls Royce. You're going to deliver a Rolls Royce, even if it's going to cost you more, or the other way around. They want a Ford. They want a Ford, but you're giving them a Rolls Royce. No, we want that. So you need to contact them. The process is open. Before it is awarded, the deadline, you contact the project manager. Please explain to me, what is it that you want? You want this, you want this. Can I do this? Can I do that? That is the process that is there, right? That you need to follow. Once it's done, they're going to obviously evaluate, they're going to score you, and it's going to be awarded successful or not. You're going to get a notice that you need to sign to accept it, because remember, it's like you're fishing. You don't know what you're going to get. But now let's say you want work, so you're going to apply for everything. You're going to submit 20, 30. You don't know what you get. Now you get 20. You get all of it. Now you don't have capacity. So the city is saying you can accept, or you can say, well, I don't want to do it. You understand? So you have to sign an acceptance to say, yes, I have capacity to actually do this, and accept it. This is the process. Once you accept it, you're going to issue an order, and then you need to deliver, and then obviously a process. So once it's awarded, there's also remember we said there's an appeals process in between. Once anyone appeals, anyone that was part of the tender that appeals, the process is stopped and it's reevaluated. Okay, so it's stopped and reevaluated. Okay. So that is the process, and then it is the order is issued, you deliver the service, and once again, you need to process payment, right? Obviously, guys, right? We hear this many times. Remember, we run these sessions, every month for the city, and we hear things like, city takes long to pay, we don't get paid on time. No. If you follow up on payments like anything, we must remember 14 point something billion rands is being spent. So there's a lot of vendors. There's a lot of vendors. It's one department processing all of that. So you need to follow up, right? You need to make sure that it's signed off by the project manager. Great, have you signed it off? Great, has it gone through for processing? And the nice thing is you have an online platform. It's like Uber Eats. When you go on Uber Eats and you order your meal, you can track it. You can see, it's being processed. It's on its way, or it's here. You can go online and see exactly where your payment is, and exactly where you don't even need to speak to anyone. You're going on your own profile and you can track your payments. You uploading your own statement, which is directly linked to the city's accounts payable department, and it is seamless. There's no people involved with that process, right? So it's made easier, but you have to follow up, guys. You have to follow up. You can't wait a month and we didn't get paid, and wait another month. No, you follow up immediately, and payments will be on time with the city on the 26th of every month. Payments are processed. Okay, so that is the process. I know we're moving very, very quickly, guys. We've mentioned that there is committees, and there's bid evaluation committees that decides on a tender. Okay, so it's not one person. They each give their input and they each give their scoring, and it's put together to decide on an award. And the same if you're saying you want it reevaluated, the bid committee will come in and they'll reevaluate. There is smaller tenders, obviously. You know, if it's something small, they're not going to put it out on tender. If it's under 250, they can get money from petty cash to make it easier. They can get a quote, 250 Rand to 2,000 Rands. They can get 3 quotes, and out of those 3 quotes, they can select. Remember, that's under, but the majority of the RFQs, the request for quotations that's going out, which is 200, is 200,000 and less. That is the ones on the e-services portal, and that is the bulk of the work that is going out. Yes, there's tenders above 200,000 as well, and those are normally long-term contracts. Okay, the ones for the city 200,000 is normally 12 months. It doesn't normally go over 12 months, so it's 1-year contracts that you get. And remember, as a small business, those are the ones you want. I mean, it's if you're selling one of these things and one, it takes a long time. But if you get a nice contract, you know, to be able to supply, you know, these an item like this for the whole year, those are the contracts that you want as a small business. Now you can grow, you can employ staff and buy equipment and vehicles and things. So those are the type of contracts that you want. You want that year contract, you know, for the city. And remember, it's done online very, very quickly, and we're going to do that in a short while. So we just to recap, we've said that you register on CSD, you then register on e-services, which we're going to do right now, and then you activate your supplier self-service. So just to be clear, the city has a 3-step process. So you firstly going to register in your personal capacity. Once you've registered in your personal capacity, you're then going to register your business or your entity. Let's say your entity, right? Once you've registered the entity, you're then going to register for services, 5. Remember, 5 services. So it's that 3-step process, and we're going to go through that. Very important one. Some of the issues that we find is that when they log on, they get lost. They don't have all the information that they need to upload. Remember, you're going to get all the documents we mentioned earlier. You get a PDF and you have it ready just to upload. If they don't, you're gonna be kicked out, because it's time. So you have a certain amount of time to log in. It's gonna kick you out, and then what happens is you go back in. Now you have a draft, but instead of going into the draft, you start over again. So and then the city doesn't know which one you're currently busy with. So you have to please delete old drafts. So if you have 2 or 3 drafts, delete the drafts. And if you want to start over, either go into a draft and edit the draft, delete the other drafts, or you're going to struggle to get registered with the city. So please just make a note of that if you're logging on and you're struggling to log in. So this is the portal, right? Just to be clear, for those that are registered, you're going to go into this portal. Okay, so it's e-services, and the website eservices.capetown.gov.za. Okay, you're going to be asked for a username and password. Please write it down somewhere where you won't forget it. If you have forgot it, then you can click on reset password and username, and it will, because a lot of businesses has maybe registered before in their own capacity with the city. They're paying their rates bills, and they've remember, it's the same platform that the city is using. The same platform. So they might have been registered maybe a few years ago, so they forgot it. Remember, you're registering in your personal capacity first. So if you have, double check that you're not registered, because if you are and you're going to re-register, it's going to pick you up. You're there already. Okay. So that's the first thing. Once you have registered, you're then going to go through the 3-step process. Okay. I see there's a few more participants. Naeem, can you please post the registration link again for those that has just joined us? And let's say our tenders register, guys, and we'll send you this PowerPoint with the information. So you don't have to make notes of the PowerPoint that we're going through right now. Naeem will post it again. You've just posted it. Please click on it so that we can have your email address so that we can send you the PowerPoint. and any information today, and also the certificates. If you have a problem registering, just put your email address and I will email it to you as well. This online thing, how do you get prices off the RFQ, is closed. So your pricing on this, if you want the pricing, firstly, all pricing is advertised on the city's website. You're going to go on the city's website and it will list all completed RFQs that is done, but it's not done immediately. If, however, you require the pricing immediately, okay, you can email the project manager. So remember, every RFQ that goes out, there is a project manager's name. They must put the name, they must put the email address and telephone number on the RFQ itself. You send an email through to the project manager and you request that information. Even if they don't respond, remember, it will be advertised on the city's website under tenders, RFQs, and awarded. So you can just type in RFQs awarded for the city and it'll list every single job that is awarded for that month will be listed there. It will give the amount that was tendered and the name of the company that it was awarded to, Okay, so I hope that answers your questions. Naya Meko, we're moving on. Naeem, please let me know how many participants has registered already. We have roughly about 25 participants. So just let me know how many has registered so far. We are moving on. So this is how it looks, right? Only 5 is registered. Naeem is saying only 5 is registered. Okay. So guys, we're gonna then stop. Okay. So remember, we said the PowerPoint, you need to register to show your attendance year to date. So the link is there so that we can send you the PowerPoint and show your attendance for the event. Those that has not completed, okay, can you please complete the register by clicking on the link or put your email address and Naeem will send it to you. Why is only, can you please give me a reason why only 5 is completed? Is it a problem with connecting to the link? Can I just check the link quickly to make sure the link is working? Google Forms. It's working perfectly. Guys, if you can please let me know what the problem. Everything is up to date. Okay, must 5 still struggling to open the link? Okay, I registered. Chantal working earlier, but it's working now. Okay, great. Okay, I'm struggling to open the link. Great. If you are struggling, please ask CPU is there to assist as well. CPU, for those that are struggling, you can see in the chat. Just please assist them individually. Just contact them individually via the chat. And find out what the problem is with the link. But I tested it now; it is working. I registered to the link. Thank you. Works fine, Yazid. Thank you very much. It is working, right? It is working. Alan struggling. So some say it's working fine. Others say struggling with the link. Alan says struggling. Yazid said it's working fine. Okay, if you're struggling. You can just put this struggling. Naeem will contact you individually. CPU, you can also contact them, please. Any other participants that are struggling, and just help them with the link, please. Maybe email it to them if they're having a problem with the phones. It's important that we get the register. Remember, we also issuing certificates. Okay. We need again, yes. So we need you to sign, even if you've been previously. We need you to because you're attending this one, so we need to have you sign this register as well. Thank you. Okay, Naeem and CPU, I will leave that up to you just to make sure that those things are done. We are registered previously. Yes, guys, you need to register again. Remember, this is to say you're here. That's an attendance rate to say that you are here now. So that's why you are registering. Even if you registered, remember you registered to say that you're going to attend, but this is attendance to say you are here. It's 2 different things, because we actually had over 150 people that said that they want to do a 10, but there's 25 here, right? So people say they're going to a 10, but they don't always. So this is to say that you are actually here. Was just direct messaging me. I will say this. So if you were to send a message, you can message him and he will gladly help you. Thank you. Other than that, we are carrying on. So this is the portal, right? So this is how your screen is going to look. You'll see right at the bottom, it says RFQs. It says RFQs and purchase order numbers, okay? If you don't see RFQs and purchase order tracking, you are not registered, you're not completely registered on the platform. Okay, I need to be clear. If you don't see RFQs, purchase order tracking, you are not fully registered on the city. Okay, so once you register first, you're going to be registered in your personal capacity. Okay, first, you're going to register a business with no services. You're just registering the business first. Then you won't find these RFQ buttons here, and you won't find the purchase order button over there, because that tile is where you're going to receive your purchase order. So if there's no purchase order there, you're not going to receive anything because you're not fully registered, right? So very, very important, guys. We're going to go through quickly the process how to register, right? And if you remember, even your invoicing and your statements, you're going to track on your system. Okay, so we're going to go through very, very quickly how to do this online. Let me just see. There's a chats. I'm sorted. It works. Thank you guys. Let's finish it. Let's finish the register. Thank you so much. So we're going to go through a few of the challenges that we find first, and then we're going to go through practically. We're going to actually go online and actually do this. Some of the issues that we find: incomplete bid documents. Okay, so if the city say we require this certificate or this document, you need to upload those documents. Otherwise, you're going to be disqualified. Remember, also incorrect calculations. The city says how you need to quote. If you need to quote per job, in other words, you are the city saying, right? You need to quote, right, for the entire job, the entire product. Give me a cost for the entire job, right? Or the city say, give me a cost per hour. Or the city say, give me a cost per day. Or if you're doing training, the city might say, give me a cost per delegate. It's different things, right? The city says how you must tender. So if you're doing training and the city say quote per delegate, and there's 20 delegates, you're going to quote for one. You understand? You're going to quote for one. You're not going to quote for 20. You're going to quote for one, right? Very, very important, guys. You need to look at these, at the costing, how the city wants you to tender. It's very, very important, okay? The price instructions the city will put on each one. So go through it once, twice. Remember, once you submitted your bid is gone. You can't, and it's closed. You can't go and change it. It has a time period on it. Once it's done, you submitted your price, they're going to hold you to that price, okay? Inability to interpret requirements or scope, right? If you are quoting and you're saying, I'm adding additional services on, the city needs to compare apples with apples. Okay, so when everyone is bidding, they need to know everyone is giving apples. Everyone is giving apples. So now we can compare. If you're giving something different, other than what they want, you need to specify it very, very clearly in that RFQ. You need to say, I'm charging this, but I'm giving this, this, and this, and this extra. Okay, you need to be very, very clear on that when you are quoting, because sometimes the city don't require that, right? So you need to be clear what you're offering, okay? The issue of the support is CVs, qualifications, guys. Very, very important. Most of the RFQs, remember, if you're in construction, if you're engineering, right? If you're delivering services, you need to have professional staff delivering. So if you don't have qualifications, right? If the city is saying they're gonna award you 40 points out of 100, or 30 points out of 100 for experience and qualifications of your staff. You need to submit those qualifications. If you don't submit your qualification, project management, MBA qualification, formal qualification, degrees, you're not going to submit any of those documents, evidence. You're not going to submit any evidence. You're getting zero. You're getting zero. If the city says, give me 3 references, right? What is a reference? A reference is you need to have a contact number, a cell phone number, an email address, an office number, to be able to say this is a contact, because cell phone numbers change, right? Email addresses change. So you need to have, if you give the name, this is the person, this is the business, this is what we did, you don't give any contact details, you get 0. And remember, if you get 0 points on the references, you're not going to get work through government. You need to have references to say, I've done this before. This is the person. And please contact the person who you awarded, who you completed the project for, and tell them, I'm going to use you as a reference. And don't use someone from 2-3 years ago that you've contacted, because if the city phones and they say, oh, have you done work? So this person has done work for you. They say they've done work for you. How did they complete the job? And it's like, who are they? I can't remember who they are. I don't remember what they did, right? That is bad. You understand? So please make sure your references, you contact the people that you're giving, and make sure that they give you a good reference, right? Very, very important. Okay. So we're moving on. So name of the contact, we've gone through this already. On CSD, I don't think we need to cover this. There's quite a few of you that have registered. It's the same process as the city, and it's quite easy to upload. In 15-20 minutes, you can upload all your documents on CSD. Okay, so this is the city's website, and we're going to go through this quite shortly, just to show you how to do the registration. Okay. Your BP number, your business partner number, is the number on your normal rates bill. Okay, if you're not clear on what that is, it's the number on your rates bill, right? You'll have a 10-digit BP number. Okay, if you're not sure what that number is, you can leave it out. You don't have to put it in. If you were a vendor before, and I know that some of you were not registered on e-services, but you were a vendor before, so you have a vendor number, you can put your vendor number in there by the BP number. Okay. But if not, you can leave it back and it will self-generate. So it will pick up on your ID number. It will pick up your ID number, and it will pre-populate if you have registered with the city as a vendor before. Remember, before the e-services went on. Remember, it's a new system, right? It's a new system, and you have to register again if you were registered before on the new e-services portal. So remember, you don't have to put that 10-digit number in. You don't have to put it in. If you were a vendor before, it will pick up that you were a vendor. Okay, we've said your required documents. We've gone through this already. If you are a trust, you can register as well. If you are a trust, remember, you need the documents of your members, of all your members, and ID numbers of all your members. So if you are 10 or 5 members to the trust and you're registering your trust, every one of your members, you need all their documents. And if any one of them are registered under another entity that is registered with the city, they won't be able to process it. Okay, so please, guys, if you are registering trust with multiple members, right, all their documents needs to be submitted to the when you register. And remember, a lot of businesses ask, what do I register? I have a trust, I have it. You can register one of them, right? You can decide which one. And remember, the city has a responsibility also. There's part of the city's mandate to support non-profit organizations. So if you're a non-profit, you're doing community services, yes, it's community services that you are doing, Yes, then do it through your non-profit organization. Then do it through your non-profit organization, right? If you are registered, there's a point, I think it's 3.1 on your declaration. You can declare, you can say, you know what, I'm on I have another entity that is registered with the city, and I will go through that document very, very shortly. And then you can register on 2 entities, but it needs to be declared. Remember, this is what the city is saying. If you declare and there's no, you still cannot compete. So the 5 areas, right? Remember, there is 5 areas that you're going to register in, right? You cannot compete on those 5 areas if it's 2 different entities. I need to be clear on this. If you are a register, you're registered in cleaning services. You're a non-profit, you register in cleaning services, and you're a PTY and you register in cleaning services. You cannot be on both those entities. But if your 5 categories for the MPO is different to the 5 categories of the PTY, then it is fine, because you're not going to be getting, those are the same RFQs. Are we clear? You're going to be getting different RFQs, but you still need to declare that you are a member of that organization on your declaration. That is the declaration that you're not connected with other organizations. It's 0.3.4.1, 0.3.4.1. Okay, you're going to say, I'm not registered. I am registered on this entity. This is the CK number. This is the PTY number. This is the MPO number that I am a member on. And then it's declared, and then it's fine. If you do not declare, yeah, there is going to be problems. There's going to be problems later on. Okay, so the different entities. You must remember, people think that yes, it's the city is big, but it's effectively 3 to 4 people that is actually managing the online platform. So please, when you send emails through and you're submitting it online, you give them average 48 hours to complete and to update your profile. If you do not get a response after 48 hours, you send them an email, and on the last page, you'll see the hub, the hub contact details. You CC them in on the emails. You CC them in on the emails, okay? When you're sending it through to get a response. You cannot wait 2 months to get a response, guys, okay? So we're going to go through, and I know we're going through quite quickly. To go through, we covered all of these things already. You don't have to cover duties of the committee. I want to get onto this documents. Okay, so these documents are all documents which are standard, which you're going to sign up front. So remember, when you're doing an RFQ for the city, right? The same document you're going to sign over and over and over. So you're going to do it. So what I do is, right, you download it, right? You convert it to Word. You put in your company details in the document, and you save it as a draft. So whenever you do an RFQ, all you're going to do is change the RFQ number, and you're going to change the date, and you're going to say, because you want to make it easy for yourself. You want to make it easy for yourself when you're submitting RFQs, and you want to do it in a short space of time. Okay, and it should take you 15 minutes max. I mean, if you've done this over and over and over many times, you can do it in 10 minutes flat. You can do it in 10 minutes flat. So it's not going to take you a lot of time to do it. So you're going to download, you need all of these forms. Declaration of interest. We're saying you don't have a brother and sister, your tax documents. All of these things you're going to upload every single time you do an RFQ, and you're going to sign all these documents online, and it's going to be all submitted with one RFQ. Okay, your tax document, your declaration, your points to claim. You have a choice. Remember, if you're going to partner every time you compete, right? If you're doing it on your capacity, but you don't have capacity, you're going to outsource a percentage of the contract to someone else. Then you're going to declare, if it's more than 25%, you're going to declare, you're going to say, you know what, I'm giving this, I can't do all of it myself, I'm giving it to another entity. But remember, their BEE level needs to be the same as yours, right? So if you level 1, they must be level 1. if you are level 1, right? Please be clear. If you are level 1 and you're outsourcing 25% and they are level 5, then you are level 5. I need to be clear. If you are level 1 and you're outsourcing 25% and they are level 5, your status moves to 5. You understand? Remember that they'll take the worst status, right? So if you're outsourcing more than 25%, so be very, very clear on that. If you're not outsourcing 20, then fine. If you're level 1, then you are level 1. Okay. Contract rendering services, right? Very important when you're submitting your award doc and your quotes. Guys, when you're quoting, right, especially on a 12-year contract, your quote is fixed. You cannot change it. You cannot change it. When you sign these documents, especially your award document, just with your costing, all your costing is on, you need to put on if you wanted to escalate. In other words, you're going to say, for the first 3 months, I'm going to charge 5,000 rands. After that, I'm going to increase by 5%. You can do that. You can do, the city allows you to do that. You can increase your costing after time, but it needs to be in the documents to say, yes, it is the time will increase over time. Because remember, you are going to be held to that cost. If fuel price goes up, you're delivering services, fuel goes up, you're going to pay. You're not going to, you can't say, wow, fuel has gone up, I'm going to charge more now. The price you quote, the price you pay for the duration. Okay. So there is different type of tenders. Naeem, you can just see whose mic is on and mute, please. There's different types of tenders that goes out. Okay, most of it is an open tender, so everyone, it goes out to everyone, they complete. Selective tenders, industry specific. If you're in ICT, digital analytics, it's something very specific, right? Augmented reality. So they need these things, but it's a very technical, and they know there's only 2 or 3 people that does this. So it's no point advertising it to everyone. Only 3 people can do it. They're gonna then send it to those 3 only. Okay, because there's no point sending it to anyone else. Okay, negotiated tenders over time. You know, it's longer tenders. This is what we're gonna charge because of risk, right? Remember, they're gonna look at the risk, but it's gonna be agreed upon over time. You're going to agree on the escalation over time. Single and 2-stage tenders. What that means is, if they say 2-stage, you remember most of the tenders, you submit your costing and your proposal, and you say, fine, this is all my documents, my references, everything, my experience, and this is what I'm going to charge. If they say we want a 2-stage, we want your finance bid, right? What you're going to charge, we want it separate. We don't want it in the same proposal. Why? Because we don't want that costing to influence our decision. Yes. So in other words, what's going to happen is they're not going to look at it. They're not going to, maybe it's separate. It's separate. Guys, I want to say this clearly. If they say it's a 2-stage tender, right? They don't want to know what you charge, right? Because they don't want it to influence their decision, right? If you put your costing in your proposal, you're going to be disqualified immediately. They won't even look at your tender. You're going to be disqualified. You can't go further because they're saying, we don't want to know what you charge, right? You're going to be disqualified. That's it. You're disqualified, right? So if they say 2-stage tender, remember, separate. So you're going to give your normal proposal. We're going to do this. This is our experience. This is our profile. This is right. And then you give a separate document, separate, totally separate from that with your, this is what we're going to charge. This is what we're going to charge. They will go through first your proposal, references. And when you reach a scoring of 65, minimum 65 out of 100, right? Great. Now we can go and check what you're going to charge. Now we can go to cost, right? Now we're going to see your cost. So even if you are, your costing is the lowest, but you don't qualify. In other words, you don't have any references. They're not even going to open your bid, your costing. It won't be opened. It will stay sealed. It will stay sealed. Are we clear? We're moving on. Okay. RFIs. There's RFIs. The city puts out, remember, if you are in construction, you can register as a consultant. If you're in ICT, you can register as a consultant. If you're in engineering, you can register as a consultant. So in other words, you're delivering services or you're delivering consulting services. So you're doing actual construction or you're just consulting on construction. You're just consulting with them. You're not doing the actual service. So a lot of the times the city puts out, and this is why your categories, your 5 categories, you can say, I want to do the actual work, the service, but I also consult to the city. Why? Because the city put out RFIs, request for information, where they are not clear what they need. They don't know what they need. They know they have a problem here. They don't know how to solve it. They don't know what the estimate cost is. And they don't know how long it's going to take. So now they need to put out, remember, they need to put out the RFP. But in that RFP, request for quotation, they need to give details on what they want. But now they don't know what they want. They don't know what they need. So they appoint a consultant. So now they come to you and say, you know what, you need to advise us. Tell us what we need. You know what, and then they give an estimate because they need to know an estimate on what it's going to cost because they need to pull that money from Treasury. They need to know upfront, this is how much is available. We have 5 million for this. That's all that we have. So we cannot exceed that, or we have 1 million or 500,000 or whatever the case may be. We know that that's all we have, right? They need that information from a consultant and they charge per hour. So you give your rate per hour or per day and you consult with them and then you give that information to them. And now they know, great, this is what I'm going to put out, what is going to cost estimate, because they need to know what is high and what is low, right? And the city doesn't always know what is high and what is low, especially if it's something technical, you know, that they need. So those are the request for proposal is where they need a proposal and they need your experience and they need your qualifications, and time is the difference. So guys, time is the issue with the city. So if they put out the RFQ, they want the quote now, right? It's not a long process. So you will see on the e-services portal, they will put out the time, maybe 5 days. We need it now. In 5 days, we need this. A geyser busted, right? So in other words, there's water flying all over the place. They cannot do an RFP. It's going to take longer. You understand? They will do an RFQ. Why? It's quick. They can process it now. They can do the work next week. They can process the payment and you can get paid before the end of the month. Okay, quick process, quick process. So during the end of the year, remember the city has cycles. The city have cycles. November, very, very busy. October, November, busy because December, the city shuts down. So what happens is budget must go out. Now remember, if you're a department of the city and you sit with a budget that is not being spent, that's bad. Remember, that is bad for the city to sit with money because now you haven't done your work. Do you understand? So the budget must be spent. So end of the year, you know, before December, this must go out quickly. I need to spend this money quick. Now we go, RFQs goes out, November. So now it goes out. We need to do it. Then the job must get done. We're going to fix these things. We're going to do these things, get the budget out. As soon as it's done, process the payment and make sure that it's paid before the end of the month. So it's a quick process. It's a quicker process, the RFQs, and that is why the platforms has been done. So some tips, guys, and I know we're moving very, very fast. Did you guys want to take a break, or are we okay to go on? Please let me know. Do you want to take a break? You can just let me know in the chat box. You want to take a short break and then we're going to carry on. Just let me know in the chat box, break or no break. It's up to you. Remember, it's your time. It is not my time. It's your time. You decide if we carry on or take a break. We carry on. Alan says carry on. Great. So it's everyone says carry on. So we carry on. Yazid said keep going. Let's keep going then. Okay, great. So we'll keep going. So some of the tendering tips, guys, those of you that are registered with the city, look, if you're on the e-services portal and you do 10, right? You do 10 RFQs. You should get 1 or 2. Guys, you should be getting 1 or 2, right? If you're not getting 1 or 2, then you are doing something wrong. You are doing something wrong, really doing something wrong, if you're not getting 1 or 2 out of 10, okay? And this is why I say that, is because remember, if you are costing too high, you will know, because the next one that go out, when it's awarded or not awarded, you're going to check what everyone else in the industry is charging. So now you know my costing is too high or too low. If your costing is the lowest and it's not awarded to you, you will know that, yes, my functionality points is not there. So I'm not getting my 65. And remember, you're not targeting 65 out of 100. You're targeting 100 out of 100, because it's not a guessing game. If they say, when you look at the breakdown of the tender, they will say they're giving you 20 points for references. They give, if you got 3, they're going to give you X. If you got 4, they're going to give you X. If you got 1, they're going to give you X. And if you got 0, they're going to give you X. They tell you exactly. There are no guessing games. Right? There's no guessing games in tender. It's very, very clear. Right? So you know what you're attending. And remember, if you are not clear on the award, you can send an email to the project manager. Please, it wasn't awarded to us. We are a company, and we would like to improve our process going forward. Can you please explain where we went wrong? Okay, and they have to respond. It's formal. Remember, no email, guys, no calls. Let's be clear, no calls. You're not going to phone someone. You're going to put it on an email, black and white. Okay, black and white. You put it black and white. You send an email. They respond. Now you know for the next time, this is where I went wrong. We went with this company. We had more references than you. It was more specific, right? Than you, the jobs. He had sent qualifications of the people. He was involved with community-based projects. He's partnered with a non-profit company. It is a PTY, but he's partnered with a non-profit company. And he also said that he's going to employ an unemployed person in the community to deliver, to work on this project. All of those things, nice for us. And we said, that's great. It's like your cost, the costing was slightly more, but we said we're going with that one for that reasons. Okay. And now you know, okay, great. Now I know how to improve. Okay. So we say misinterpreting of scope. Guys, if you awarded a contract, okay, for those of you that is awarded a contract, when scope changes, you get everything on email. Okay. Because you must remember, if you deliver something different to what was issued in the scope, right, you effectively haven't delivered your job. And they theoretically can say, no, well, you didn't do what you need to do. You did something different. We don't have to pay you, which is why if there's change, you're going to get it on email, right? You're going to get it on email. You're going to say, no, if you're saying we want to change, you tendered for a training job, for training and facilitation. You said, no, we don't need catering. We don't need transport for the participants. But now, oh, we want to transport for participants. We didn't put it in the spec. Oh, you know what? We also need to issue them a certificate. You know, we also need this and we also need this. We didn't put it in the spec. No. You don't even entertain things like that. You say, fine, we're happy to assist. We're happy to assist as a service provider to do what we need, but please put it on an email for me. Now you have your record. We were signed to do this. So when the job is done, you can say, you know what, this is the project manager. It was signed off and it was agreed upon. Okay. So remember always, you have an option when you're submitting. You're claiming your points, right? Remember, if you're not outsourcing, you cannot outsource project management. Okay, so always 25% you're doing if it's 25% or less, yes, but if not, everything you're doing internally, including project management. So remember, you need to check and double check all your RFQs and documents. And as we go through now, you'll see you can attach 10, 20 documents onto the platform. Okay, very, very easy. You rather attach more documents than less. Okay. Inquire about bid obtained relevant information completing the tenders. Remember, there's a process to follow up and inquire what documents that you actually need If it's services which you offer unique, those are things that you want to mention. Guys, reference letters is like gold. What is a reference letter? It's a letter stating from a company on a letterhead. Guys, it's on a letterhead. It's an official thing. It's on a letterhead. It doesn't need to be long. It just needs to say, this company has done this service for us. We were very, very happy with their services. Please use them. You can please use them. That's it. Short, it doesn't need to be a long thing, but it's on a letterhead. It's dated and it's signed. That is a reference letter. It is different to a contactable reference. A contactable reference, you're just giving their contact details, right? But a reference letter is on their letterhead that they are giving you. So that is gold. That's gold for you. So if you are attaching documents and you attach 1, 2, or 3 of those reference letters, that carries weight. That carries a lot of weight for the city. They're saying, you've done this before. It's not what you're going to do. This you've done, and this company, these people were happy with what you've done. So obviously, you're going to attach those references every single time you do a job. You can attach those reference letters. It carries weight. It carries weight. If you've done a job before and you have a report on it, you attach it. Guys, you attach it. Those, remember, they're sitting around the table. They're looking at all this evidence. They can only award you points on what they see. What they don't see, they can't give you anything, right? So please, you have to submit those things very, you ask for it. Remember, it's not references from the city, even if you haven't done work for the city. Any reference, someone that you've done work for. I mean, we done lots and lots of job for corporates. A lot of the work, when we started, we didn't even charge. Yes, we did it for free. But we asked them for a reference letter. We'll do this for you. We did the services. Let's do this. Let's help you. Can you give us a reference? Yes. They give us we've assisted on these projects. Give us a reference letter, right? And then we use those reference letters when we're doing proposals. So very, very important to add those things. Okay. We don't need to go through all of these things. These are different government departments. Okay. And now we're going to go through, okay. We're going to go through quickly. I'm going to unshare my screen. I'm going to unshare, stop sharing, and I'm quickly going to go on. Naeem, can you just please post the register again and just give me an indication of how many people has actually completed? I see a lot of new names this year. Please make sure everyone has completed the register so we can send you the PowerPoint. So we can send you the PowerPoint. I'm just going to go out of this screen and then I'm going to quickly share my screen with you, and then I'm quickly going to go through. Naeem, you can just give me a figure on how many participants has completed the register. Okay, so now I'm going to share my screen quickly. There we go, City of Cape Town. So now we're live. Okay, Naeem, can you share my screen? So this is the City of Cape Town website. You see eservices.capetown.gov.za. Okay, so you'll see here it says new e-services portal. That is where we're going to go. Look, there's a lot of other things, accounts payable, but we're going to go on new e-services portal. And then it's going to take us to our profile. Okay. So this is your profile, how it looks. So this is one of our profiles that we use for the city when we do work for the city. Okay. So you'll see there, it's got RFQs, it's got purchase order tracking. Okay. If you don't see purchase order tracking and you don't see RFQ, you are not fully registered. If you don't see statement upload, because that's where you're going to upload your statement for the month. If you don't see invoice inquiry, that is where you track where your invoice is in the system. Has it been signed off? It shows you. It's been signed off, it's been processed, it's on its way to accounts, and it's been paid. It will show you where it is on the line on your own profile. Okay, your purchase order, before they used to email it to you. Now They don't email it to you anymore. They don't email it to you. You have to click on it. And if there is it says purchase order awarded, right? Purchase order status, you're going to have to physically click on it and see if there's an order in there, and you have to accept it. You have to accept it online. Remember, they're not going to email it to you anymore. Okay. Now, I've just gone back 2 screens. I'm going to go into an actual RFQ. You just need to let me know, because sometimes it doesn't track it on Zoom. It doesn't track from one screen when I go back and go onto another screen. So now I have there's 3 RFQs, as you can see here. Naeem, can you still see? Great. So you'll see there's 3 RFQs. There's ones that is done already. There's a few that was done, and there's 3 that is now currently live, that is within the 5 categories. Okay. So this is RFQs that is available now, right? So you'll see there's 3 RFQs that is there. So if I want to complete this, right, you're able to complete it by simply clicking on any one of these things. You can firstly view it, right? And once you click on it, let's say, for example, SharePoint, okay, so that is a training program that they're offering. That is the number. You click on it, right? As you see here, unit of measure, very important. The city says, right, either we want to quote per day, per hour, per unit, or per lump sum. So LE is lump sum. So if I want to do this, it says, you see this, make a quote right now. So this is how we do it. You can make a quote right now on the system. You'll see there, if you want a breakdown of the cost, the city wants a breakdown, right? They don't want to know, and this is not a lot. Normally it's broken down even more, right? They want to know if you're going to charge 20,000 or 50,000 for it. They want to know where the cost is going. They want a breakdown of your cost, right? Because remember, if you're charging additional services and it's not listed here, they know what they're getting, and they can compare it with everything. They make sure you're getting all of these things that they want, and you're going to put a cost on every single one. If you leave any of these blank, okay, right, it means you're charging 0 for it. I'm going to say it again. If you leave it blank, right, then it means you're not charging for it. Okay, so you need to put in a figure on the breakdown for each and every one of these areas. I'm going to show you, because I'm going to click on make a quote now. So I'm going to say, now I'm actually making a quote. So you'll see there, it's closing on that date. It's closing. So this is closing today at 12. Okay, so I can still do it now. Once it gets to 12 o'clock today, I won't be able to do it anymore, right? I won't be able to do it anymore. Okay, so I'm going to go and see firstly what this is. So when you're quoting on this, right, remember, I'm going to show you quickly. You have to put a figure in here. Facilitation of the course. So I'm just going to put in a random figure, 0.00, right? So I'm just putting in a random figure. You'll see here more on this side. It allows you to add comments, guys, and this is what you need to do. If you're just submitting, right, you're saying, I'm giving you what you want, exactly what you want. I'm giving you, there's no comments in here. So if you put a cost in and you don't put any comments, right, you don't put any comments in here, you are giving them exactly what they want, right? Whatever they want, you're going to have to give them. However, if you're offering anything slightly different, you know, you're going to put the brand, you're going to put the comments there, you're going to say it's valid for 3 months and it's going to increase by X. You're going to put there, I'm offering this is the quality, this is what I'm offering. You're putting all of that details in there for that cost, okay, right? And this is what you're going to do for each and every one of the items, okay? Each and every one of the items, you're going to put that in, okay? I'm just putting random amounts in here. And you're going to put that comments in. Once you're done, right, you're going to move to the next. Now you're moving. Remember, it's a process. So you can't go wrong. You're gonna have to follow the process and once you've clicked on, are you going to outsource any of it? Supply development, it says here, are you forfeiting points? You click there if you're going to outsource 25. Otherwise, you don't click. Remember, you only click when you're outsourcing. You move to the next one, right? It says there, certificate of independent quote. This is all your documents that you've already uploaded. You don't have to do it again. You are signing the documents by clicking on that button. You client there, I just signed. I just clicked on it. Can we see how quickly it goes, right? Manage your data that's already there. Now, this is the key. Can you see, guys? When you click on that little square there at the bottom, you cannot click on it. You understand? You cannot click. Why? Because they're saying you need to make sure your declaration is accurate, your BE stuff is there, your bank stuff is there, everything is right. So now this is what it picks up. Remember, it's a computer, so you're gonna pick up. I'm gonna click on it very quickly. I'm gonna check. So this says it actually takes you to your documents, your BE documents, your address, your certificates, your proof of address, your declaration documents, when it expires, all of that. It's gonna say check everything, and everything is right. So what I'm gonna do is, once I've checked it, I just go back, and now I can click on the blocks. Can you guys see that? So I literally clicked on manage supply. That I just looked at it, made sure everything is fine, and once I've looked at it, I now can click. It picks up that I've actually checked it. This is what the system does. So they're quite tricky. So they say if you haven't checked it, then you can't click it. So I just go in, I click on manage, I go have a quick look for a second, it's right, and I go back, and now I can click and go to the next step. Okay, so here we are, and now we're uploading information. So remember, you have a file, guys. You want to make things easy for you. Insurance, the city saying you need to have insurance with the city. Okay, guys, especially in construction, the city has insurance, but the city saying you need to have at least public liability insurance, 5 million minimum, 5 million cover, public liability insurance. Whether you're doing services or whether you're delivering products, they need to know you're covered. Even if you're just you're supplying goods, you come to the city, you're in an accident, or you knock someone over while delivering something. The city is saying you need to be covered. Okay, does it cost a lot of money? No, 200 Rand, 250 Rand, 300 max for 5 million in cover. If you go to different, any one of the major insurance companies, it is not a lot of money. It's third-party coverage that you need. And you also need COIDA for your staff. If you don't have COIDA, right, you can take out personal or staff insurance. Yes, staff, employee insurance. It costs literally 25 Rand per month. It's very, very cheap. It's so cheap that insurance companies say we can't take it out on its own. It's not worth our while taking out employee liability insurance for 5 million on its own. We will add it onto an existing insurance contract. So if you have a contract with the insurance company, they say we add that on for 25 Rand or 30 Rand, you know, and that you can use instead of COIDA. If you have COIDA, or you can have employee liability insurance, you're going to add those insurances, and departments say, yes, vehicle insurance. If you're doing deliveries, they want to know your vehicles are insured. Why? Because these accidents happen. It happened. A BM drove into another BM, and now the city was ended up having to pay. So they're saying, no, it's you have to have the cover. This declaration forms that you're gonna upload, all this declaration forms you're going to. Remember, these are the standard documents that we went through earlier today. You're gonna download it in a template in Word, and you're just gonna change the date. Easy. So you go and you upload these documents. The key thing, guys, your other. That is the other document. You see, you won't be able to move to the next step. So what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna go onto my computer, and I'm gonna upload. Documents which I had done before prior to the webinar, and I'm just going to upload that documents. There we go. And I'm going to upload the authorization to say that you have occupational health and safety. Okay, you have all of these things done. And remember, it's a document they give you. So they give you the document, you're going to sign it, and you're going to put today's date on it, and you're going to attach it. Okay, and you're going to attach it, right? This is the key thing. Okay, and I'm gonna show you here at the bottom your functionality scoring. That's your proposal. That is your company brochure. If you have a company brochure, you're gonna add your company brochure there. If you have the document that they send you, your actual specifications, you're gonna attach those documents. To say that, remember, they need to be clear you're giving them what they want. So if they say, we want X, Y, Z, you're going to take X, Y, Z and say, we're going to deliver X, Y, and Z. This is how we're going to do it. This is our methodology. This is how long it's going to take. This is who is going to do it. This is our project team, right? This is our understanding of what we're going to do. This is what we're going to charge. All of that is in that document. And you're going to upload that document. Okay, so that's what you're going to upload. Now you see there's no more red, right? But you're not going to stop there. Even though you can proceed, you're going to see, you see this other, guys, that other, you can literally upload 10 documents and you're going to use it. You're going to use it. You're going to upload references. You're going to upload previous jobs that you did. You're going to upload qualifications of your staff. You're going to upload pictures of what you are actually delivering, right? Your any documents that can add value to the proposal, you're going to attach to that. Okay, as many as you like, right? Remember, they can only review things that they can see. Okay, once you're done with that, you're going to press submit. There is my costing. I'm happy with everything, and I'm going to say submit. Submit. And there we go. It is done. Thank you. Your bid has successfully been submitted. Okay, you have submitted reference number. That is your reference number that you can go and track. So that whole process, you will see it took roughly about 10 minutes, okay, to be able to do an RFQ from start to finish, okay, from start to finish. So I'm going to go back quickly. I just want to show you a few things for those of you that are struggling to actually register. So when you go on and you've registered, right, remember, it's your job to update your status. Either you have a problem that you don't have the purchase order tracking tile, or you don't have the RFQ tile that is there, which means you are not fully registered. So when you go on, remember, you have to update your status. So if you go to service registration, I'm going to click on service registration, right? And remember, I'm also going to send you a document, very, very easy to follow, right? Step for step. Now, I am not a technical person, right? So this is why the document is put in a way. Click on this red button, right? Click on it. Once you've clicked on it, now click on this one, right? It shows you the picture and it's highlighted. You cannot go wrong. I'm going to send you that document. Please follow it step for step and you won't go wrong, okay? So you're going to click on My Supplier. This is how you're going to update. So that's where you get to this screen, okay? So this screen shows you your details is here, your address is here, your BEE documents is here, your certificates is here, any other documents that you can attach is here, your declaration to say you don't have a brother, and here's your 5 categories. So this is where you're going to make sure, you need to make sure that you have this completed. Your CSD number is in there, your tax clearance number, your VAT number is in there, and all of these things are done. Right. If you have your categories and you want to change this, no problem. You can go and click on industry and you can select another 5 categories. and submit this. If your documents is expired, your certificates expired, you click on certificates and you upload new certificates. Your declaration, if you click on declaration, and you'll see there, it says last updated on the 22nd of August. If I want to update it, I can update it, and it's valid for another 12 months. Okay, so this is how you go through the platform. Everything, remember, this is your profile. This is your profile that you are going on. Okay, so I think is there a question? Is there any questions from anyone? Remember, the process, right? It takes, if you make a mistake, now you need to understand this. If you, let's say for example, you upload the wrong documents, right? So or you submitted a tax clearance which is not valid anymore, or you submit a proof of address which is more than 3 months old, or you submit a copy of your ID but it's not clear. Okay, Nomfundo, do you have a question? Whose mic is on? Can you just, Naeem, can you switch those mics off?
Insurance company.
I do have a question.
You have a question, Nomfundo?
Yes, I do have a question. I would like to know, you said you must have a COIDA when you do e-registration, and all your documents must be up to date.
Yes.
How much does it cost for one employee to COIDA compared?
It does. Look.
Is it payable yearly or
monthly? Monthly. Yeah, so it's paid monthly. It's monthly, right? So COIDA is not a lot. It's not a, it depends on the level of the person in your organization, but it could cost, let's say, 50 Rand or 100 Rand. But remember, you don't need to have COIDA. You can also have, right, employee liability insurance. Okay, so which is easier. Employee liability insurance. Okay, so that is insurance. You add it on to your existing policy, right? For your staff, right? Okay. And that works out to, let's say, 30 Rand per month. It is not expensive. It is very cheap. But then your staff is covered. So you can add either COIDA or employee insurance, one or the other. You can choose. Okay. If you either do COIDA, but you must remember, you do COIDA, it needs to be updated every month. If you're not updated, you're going to show non-compliant, and you won't be able to do work with government. So for most companies, employee liability is easier. It's easier because you literally phone the insurance company that you have a contract with. Before you put the phone down, they've emailed you your policy schedule. It's literally that quick, right? They do it instantly, and they're used to doing it. Then you just upload that document to so it goes. It's very, very quick. Less issues, less stress. Okay. Hope that answers your question. Is there any more questions on this? Remember, guys, when you go onto your service registration, right? And most companies they're not aware of this, right? That if there's a problem, right, you'll see here there's notifications. That is messages from the city to you. Okay, so let's say, for example, you submitted a registration, something has expired, or a document that you've submitted was incorrect. They're going to send you a message, which is like an SMS, right? Which coming to you. It's coming to you. So you need to go and check what messages is here, because most of the time they're sending you, they're saying there's an error there. That error came through. I need to click on it and fix it. Or here's information here that they're sending me. I need to rectify this, right? So you need to go on this and see. For those of you that are struggling to register, go on and make sure whatever the issue that there is, you sort that out first, and then you send an email through to procurement, right? And always, guys, if you go onto your last page, I'm going to unshare this because I'm going to go back on. I just want to show you the number that you need to send it to. If you go on to your last page of your power, I think I've closed the PowerPoint. I'm just going to open it again. Here we go. Share screen. Was it this one? Well, this is the wrong screen. Stop share. Here we go. Okay, so this is the contact details, right? Hope you can see my screen. You'll see here business.support@capetown.gov.za. So if you're having a problem with registering, remember, this is not the procurement department of the city that is registering you. This is the support team from the city that is there to actually support you, which is very important for you guys, right? When you're having a problem, to know that there is people there, Lohiso and his team, Andile and his guys, and Carlo Visi is at the hub. We were there yesterday doing a networking session. So these guys are there at the concourse at the city of Cape Town, underneath the Golden Acre. The Strand concourse is there to offer support to suppliers for the city of Cape Town. So if you are having a challenge registering, you send it to procurement, yes, which is on the website. So you send it to procurement, but you also send it, you CC the business.support in, and so that they can also assist with follow-up. And then they have a number, the 021-417-4043. That's the number that you're going to phone to get assistance. Anything relating to the content that we're covering now, that's our business WhatsApp number for Greenhouse that you can contact for support. If you need any assistance with regard to the contact, you can contact that WhatsApp number and we will respond as soon as possible. Okay, so some of the challenges I would like to hear from you guys. Remember, it's an interactive session. Naeem, did you post how many completed the registers before we carry on? Did you guys all complete the register? We also have a feedback form. You'll see the feedback form there for those that you are still here, because we want to make sure that you're here till the end. And we also try and improve the program, right? Remember, we run these programs face-to-face as well. 22 completed. Thank you very much. There's also a feedback form just to give comments, how you felt the session was it valuable for you? Can we change things as well? Because we obviously want to improve the program as we go along, right? If those of you that did not complete the register, please complete the register. There's two links now. There's a feedback form and there's also a register link for those that did not register, that maybe joined late, because I know that some of you had connectivity issues as well. So you can please complete the register. Everyone else, if you can please complete the feedback forms. It's very important for the city to know how they can improve the process going forward as well. So please complete that. And then everyone else, we want the last session, this session that we're going to do now is Q&A, right? I need to understand what the challenges that you are currently facing. Logging on, I need to understand what the challenges that you are facing for those of you that are registered, that has completed tenders that are not getting maybe tenders, or if you were awarded tenders and you're having any issues currently with the city. Remember, the services that we're offering is to make things easier for you as small businesses. So I need to get an indication from you where the issues is, and we need your involvement. So please, if you are shy, you can type the message in the chat. If you are not shy, you can simply raise your hand and unmute and ask your question or give us your challenges, so that we all learn also from your experience and challenges. I see there is quite a few. We're more than 30 now. participants. So there might be a few new participants, guys. Remember, I'm going to send you not only the PowerPoint, we'll also send you a video, because I know I talk very fast and we covered a lot of content. So we'll send you a video recording as well of this if you came on late. So please, if you came on late, you'll see an attendance register link. Please complete it, and then we will send you the recording of the video as well, so you can catch up and also refresh, because guys, you forget. So Ranzo, did you put up your hand? You have a question, go for it.
Yes, I've got. Thanks, Khalid. So my question refers to the BP number. I think you refer to it as a BP number?
Yes.
The one
Yes.
that it allocates to you as the customer, or you're doing a rate
Yes.
paying customer.
Yes.
So now that means they are only limiting people that does business with them to only people that are rate paying. So say now I'm a child of a farmer somewhere living in the outskirts of Cape Town. I want to do business with the city, and I don't have that number. Where does that now leave me?
You don't need it. You don't need it. If you have it, you can put it in. If you don't, you leave it blank and you'll be able to continue. Okay. So if you don't have it, you don't have to put anything in there, and you can proceed without putting it in. You don't need to be registered with the city as a vendor or rates payer to be able to register. It will pick it up automatically if you are. Okay. So if you are registered, then you put it in. If not, just leave it blank. Okay. If you're unsure, just leave it blank and continue without it. Please, it's just going to make it a lot easier, because remember, the only challenge we have, and a lot of people have the challenge, they register two different entities. That's the main issue. So if you are unclear, if you are registered under another entity, then rather just leave it blank. I hope that answers your question. But if you do have one, you can put it in. Yeah.
Yes, it does. And then I've got another question.
Go for it.
I've just been stacking them up as we're presenting. So
Great.
my other question relates to, so if you've got, so you've registered two entities. The one is a private company, and then the other one is an NGO. So now how do you go about registering the two? Because you mentioned earlier that the system will pick up your ID number if you've registered.
Yes.
So is it possible for me to put different entities under that same profile, under one profile with the
No. So what you're going to do is that you have two options. You can merge the two entities. In other words, you're working together, but remember, you're going to operate under one entity, right? You can operate under one entity under 5 areas. If you choose that you want to register the other entity as well, because you are in different sectors, right? Then you can register the other entity, but then the 5 categories that you select on the one, those categories cannot be part of the 5 categories for the other entity.
Yes.
Okay. That's the one thing. The other thing is that you would still need to declare on your declaration, right? On your declaration, point 3.4.1, there's a special clause there that says you need to disclose if you are on another entity, right? Then you need to give in that clause, you need to give the registration number of that entity that you are a member of. Okay, so you're going to then declare on the declaration form, and then you need to declare it on both forms. In other words, you need to declare it on the PTY, and you need to declare it on the MPO when you're doing the registration, and you need to declare it on CSD for both entities. Because now remember, you would then need to register on CSD for the non-profit, and you need to register on the city again for the non-profit, and the city's the declaration that you're going to give to the city needs to be uploaded on CSD as well. Okay, and then that clause 3.4 needs to be, you need to put it in there, the number of the MPO that you are a member of. Then you're fine. Okay, then you're fine. Okay, but
just for clarity, so you're saying if now I've got, okay, let me just give you a prime example. So our business is consulting engineers.
Yes.
But then we also have an NPO that trains women in construction.
Okay.
So now we've got the consulting firm registered with the city, and then now we're looking at registering the NPO for the training services. But then now we're sort of like confused as to how do we register under the same profile, or is it a different registration altogether?
You cannot. So this is why I say, if you are consulting, right? So if you're delivering consulting, that category of consulting, if it falls under the MPO and the PTY, you cannot register if you are a member on both.
Then I understand that. Okay.
Right, you cannot.
Okay.
If the services that you're gonna offer for the foundation is different, in other words, it's not the same as the PTY, it's in a totally different category. All five, any of the five that's in the PTY cannot be in the foundation.
100%.
Because then you would be able to submit tenders on the one and the other. Do you understand? So that's the only thing that you need to be clear of. If you're gonna combine the two under the one, then it's no problem. Then you remember, then you're gonna operate under the PTY, and the foundation is gonna be your partner. In other words, they're gonna partner with you, and that a lot of businesses do that. The value of that is that it needs to be incorporated into your profile. When you're submitting your profile on a job, it needs to state in there that you are partnering with the foundation on the project. You understand? Because the city needs to understand risks on a project. And if you partnered with it, so we have we have a foundation and we have a PTY. So we are Greenhouse, a PTY, and we also Greenhouse Foundation. So when we do a project and we partner on one category with a foundation, it's included in our proposal. So the city knows we are also on one job, the foundation is supporting on that. Okay, which increases our chances of getting contracts because we are working with a non-profit. Okay, but you can't compete. That's the key thing. you can't compete on entities. The city, it will pick it up immediately. In fact, you won't be able to be registered if you're gonna do it separate.
Okay, thanks, Alit. So what are the steps that I can take now? So the PTY LTD is registered with the city. Now want to register the NGO. What are the steps that I need to take? We'll contact
So what you're going to do is you're going to include the MPO as a partner on your documents. All your documents you're going to submit, proposals that you're going to submit. That's the one option. The other option is, as I said, you can register the MPO separately under another entity, but then remember, you can't have the same categories.
Okay, that's clear.
Okay, so you have to choose. You have to choose one or the other. Okay. Yeah. Is there any? Thank you. Is there any other questions? ID number is registered with the CSD. On my previous employer, I have been asking a few times to assist. You have to take it off. There's no way you're going to be able to register with the city if you are on another entity. Okay. So because remember, it's linked to CIPC and it's linked to CSD. So you're going to have to be removed from that entity before you can register. Unfortunately, it's a system, so there's no middle way. You have to remove you, or you won't be able to be registered. Is there any other questions? Any other challenges that you guys are facing? You don't have to be shy. We're here to help you, and now's the time. So if you have any other challenges, questions, concerns, you can unmute or you can type your message in the chat right at the bottom. Okay. Let's hear, guys, if you have any questions. Naeem, did everyone complete the feedback and registers? Just give me the amounts for each one, please. And then anyone else that has any comments or questions or concerns, or that you need help with anything, go for it. Nomfundo, please go for it.
I'll just jump in there if no one is asking a question.
Okay,
There's
go
a
for it.
question that was asked earlier in the charts, and I also had a similar question, which relates to references. So if you're a startup, I'm starting up a company from scratch, I don't have any
Yeah.
references. Is there any advice that you can give to those companies as to how they can go about that? Because it becomes an issue. Like you said,
Yes.
the city won't have faith in your ability to deliver on the project if you can't show any
Okay.
evidence that you've
Okay,
done
so
work before.
okay,
is
so
there any
this is
tip that you can
yes.
give us?
Yes, absolutely. Look, we also started a small business many years ago. So, I mean, we've done a lot of work for the city. We've done over 500 jobs for the city. We've done over 25,000 tenders for the city. But when we started, we did over 100. We did like 100. We didn't get any. We didn't get any because obviously we didn't have references. We didn't have experience. So it was very difficult. So when we started, guys, and this is what you need to do. We did a lot of services for free. Remember, to get a reference, if you're saying you can do a job, well, then you do it. You need to do it. You need to be able to. If you say you're a caterer, well, then you need to do it. Yeah, and once you've done it, ask those people for a reference. It doesn't need to be the city. Also, when the city puts out RFQs during certain times of the year, like November, for instance, a lot of RFQs goes out that is very small, right? It's not worth someone's while. It's not worth for someone to do that as in business. For example, if you're in catering, to go through to Oudtshoorn to go do catering for a youth session for 5 people. It's like really not worth it. You understand? You're not going to make money out of that because it's too small. However, for you as a startup, that's great, because remember, in order for you to get 3 jobs, to get your scoring, it doesn't say that it needs to be 3 jobs that's worth R1 million. It could be 3 jobs that's worth 5,000 or 2,000. It doesn't matter, but you can get a reference. So for those jobs, most of it goes, no one competes on that because no one wants to do it when they're busy. Because this is what happens. November, everyone is busy. So they're going to do the nice jobs. The nice contracts, everyone is busy, that there's lots of work going out. So no one wants those things. So you, during that time, they call it the scraps. You're going to take the scraps. For you, it's fine. You're going to do it, even if you're not going to make money out of it. You're going to do it. You're going to do it well, right? And you're going to get a reference, and it's a job completed. And this is how you started. Remember, we wanted to do training and development and mentoring. We didn't start. We started with catering. We started doing catering. So because we needed to get some references, right? And then because with training is catering, because it used to be linked before, right? So we weren't getting any of the training stuff, but we were, okay, some of the catering stuff, because the city has the budget for that is very low. So they put a budget on that they give. So a lot of them was an opportunity for us to get some experience. So this is what you're going to have to do. Get references and do work for people. Ask people for references that you've done work for, even if you haven't paid for it, even if you've done it for free, just to get started. Okay, so you need to be on the platform. Look for the scrap. Look many times, right? The client contact us saying that the RFQs went out and no one submitted, not a single person, not a single person submitted, right? Which is crazy. You understand? If you think about it, they phone us, especially technical things. And I mentioned it before under previous workshops that we did. The Department of Nature Conservation contacted us for snake handling. Yes, how to handle snakes. And we did not want to do it. We didn't want to do it because we don't know anyone. We didn't know anyone, and we didn't want it. They phoned up, please just submit a quote. No one submitting. We need to get this out. And then I submitted it. Just submitted a very high throwaway price. I didn't want to do it. I said, okay, fine. Let me just give a throwaway price. And in 2 days it was awarded. And then I had to ran around like a mad thing. Eventually got Imhoff Snake Park there in Hout Bay, and they said yes, they can do it for like 2,000 rands, and I charged them a lot of money. Obviously, I was very lucky to get it, but I was really stressed because you know, I didn't expect to. But a lot of the times the RFQs goes out and not a single person actually submits, and then they re-advertise. So you go and you'll see stuff is re-advertised, and then they add on an A or they add on a B onto the same number. It means that, you know, but no one actually submitted quotes for that. So there is opportunities, but you need to be looking out for them, and if you're not getting in your industry, change your category. So in other words, try another category in another sector, just so that you can get some references, and this is what we had to do as well. So I hope that answers your question. Now, Fundo, I don't know if it's a new hand or an old hand.
Okay, it's an old hand.
Okay.
Will you please, because my first answer, my question was being answered by the lady of appearing in 2 companies. That has been sorted. Now, are you going to give us the recordings of this share?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes.
So that we can.
Absolutely. We're going to give you the PowerPoint. We're going to share the PowerPoint with you. Nadia is going to give you a certificate. All that we need is for you to complete the register. So if you did not complete the register for whatever reason, you can just put your email address and Naeem will send it to you. And then we will send you the recording for this, and also the slides and the information to register if you are not registered. Okay. We will be there. Yeah.
Could you please again, can someone send again the link of the feedback?
Naeem, can you please post we will do that, no problem. Naeem, can you please post the links? Thank you, Naeem. You'll see the first one is the registration if you did not register, and the second one is the feedback, which is very, very important for us. Is there any more questions? If there's no more questions, we're going to then conclude, and you guys can carry on with your businesses. We don't want to keep you unnecessarily. We know that you have businesses to run. Naya Meko, Naeem, can you please send the registration link to Naya Meko to complete? Having a problem registering. If there's anyone else that is having a problem registering, please put your email address, and Naeem or Sipiu will send it to you to complete. Is there any more questions?
I've got a last one.
Go for it. Go for it.
Now, but I know that someone has got a similar question, but they're probably shy.
Some people are, so that's why some people are shy and they're not very vocal. So
I'll be their mouthpiece then.
You be their mouthpiece. You go for it. You go for it.
Thanks, Ali. So my next question relates to you know, those industry-specific documentation that they require you to submit.
Yes.
Say you're in catering, they require you to submit. If say it's halal, they require a halal certificate, or they require the certificate of competence, or if in training, you must have your CETA certificate.
Yes.
Are you able to talk to that a bit and just advise suppliers as to how to go about attaining those industry-specific certificates?
Okay, so certificates. So remember the city's health department saying, right, and they are local for each area. So remember the city has 24 districts. Each of the districts manages their own health department. So if you are registered for catering in a specific area, you would need to go to your local City of Cape Town office, right? You say you're in catering, can you please apply for your health certificate? Okay, you can do it online, but I like to go in and actually see the person. You know, I like to see the person that I'm speaking to. You apply for your license for certificate, where you actually serving, where you're prepping the food. Now remember, you're prepping the food at the premises, but you're delivering the food to wherever the city maybe requires it, right? So they're gonna come and look at where the food is made. So you complete the application. There is no cost to that. And they come out very, very quickly. And let's say a week or two, you set up a meeting, they come and check the premises, everything is fine. You know, you have water, you have running water, the place is clean, blah, blah, blah. Where you're storing the stuff, the food stuff, they're going to check all of those. And then they issue a certificate of acceptability to say your food, and now you have that certificate. Once you have that, obviously you're going to upload those type of certificates. The same with accreditation. If they say they want CETA accreditation and you don't submit yourself because you're not CETA accredited, it's no point you even submitting because you're wasting your time. They want it accredited unless you have a partnership with an accredited company, right? Which you can submit. So in other words, if you are in training, but they say they want accredited, you need to have a partnership agreement with an accredited company that is registered in those CETAs. If they say, we want someone registered with local government CETA in, let's say, customer services, but they want it accredited and you don't have it, but you have a partnership with an accredited company that is registered, by all means, you can submit an RFQ. But remember, the city is not going to take a risk. They need to understand where the risk lies if you don't deliver. And that needs to be in a service level agreement, very detailed service level that shows where the risk lies. If not, if you don't deliver, right? The city needs to know who to go to, because if you are the project manager, they cannot go to another company. You understand? They need to understand the relationship. So you're going to attach those documents. If you have, let's say, a service level agreement with a specialist engineer or a specialist project manager, because maybe you don't have the formal qualifications in your sector, but you have someone that has got master's degrees, MBAs, PhDs with 10 years experience, 20 years experience. You want to use that person's experience, and you have an SLA with that person, tying that person to your organization. You're going to need to attach the service level agreement with that person to say that that person's experience is delivering work for us, right, on a contract basis, for let's say a year or whatever the case may be. That agreement needs to be attached. Then that person's experience is part of your capacity to be able to deliver on the projects. Okay, so those are things which you're going to attach onto all your certificates. And one of our partners, Skuman Law. I will send your details through to them. They offer a service. I think it's, I can't remember the details, but they were there yesterday at the city of Cape Town. Caroline does that, where they offer for 99 Rand. They do all your contracts for you per month, which is very, very little. So I will share Nicoline's details with you guys. And they will be able to do all of those documents, which is very important as a business to have that, because remember, the city will not accept them as part of your capacity without those agreements, because the city is going to say it's too risky. It's just too risky for them, and they're not part of your organization. So they will be excluded without those SLAs. Yeah, hope that answers your questions. Is there any more questions? Hope the city tender support desk by any chance. Yes, the number is on the last page, the last slide. The number is there for the cities support desk at the hub under the concourse, at the concourse under the Golden Acre. Any more questions? Any more questions? Don't be shy. Don't be shy, guys. We're going to close. Yes, your question.
Yeah, hi, Mr. Smith. Firstly, I'm Christopher Abrams.
Hi, Christopher.
Thanks for this informative session. It's highly appreciated. And whilst indeed I've gained a lot of knowledge from this presentation that you did this morning. You know what? The only concern, as I'm in the same industry as you are, business development.
Great.
My question today is, we don't reach the people, the small guys. Really, it's not all of them that have access to these facilities that we have. Will this training be rolled out to communities, in communities? Because
Absolutely.
your informal
Yes.
sector and your smaller guys, they have difficulty with these technology, and
Yes.
we need to get this out to them. So my question
Absolutely.
is, and can one send out the information to other people that have not attended this training, which do not have access? Can we print them the presentations and give it to them to hand out?
No, what we can do is, right, remember, the programs that we run for the city is done online. It is also done in all 24 districts of the city of Cape Town, face to face.
Okay.
So this is why we're saying this workshop. So next week, we're in Atlantis. All the workshops that we're doing this week, how to do business, costing and pricing, looking at funding opportunities, looking at how to grow your business. We are in Atlantis doing it for the Atlantis communities. We are also in all other areas throughout the Western Cape. So what you need to do is you need to maintain contact with your local City of Cape Town councillor, wherever they are in your different areas, and just liaise with them, or you contact the hub, because they have the list, right? The number that we've left there, that is the hub number. They have the schedule for this workshop every single month, and they also have the schedule for every single workshop happening in all 24 districts of the city, because, and we're making it easy for businesses that's in the area to come to, and so we will come to you. We will go to the area and we'll offer support to them in all the areas, through the city. So, but you must remember, they would still need to make contact with the local councillor, and they will share the dates for that. And remember, we are running this for the next 3 years, every month for the next 3 years. Right, so the support for SME is there. The support is there, not only costing, how to do the tenders, all of those things we offer, and we make it easy for them to be able to access it as well. Obviously, everything free, funded through the city's enterprise and supply development initiative, right? So yeah, so please, you just Naeem will send you the link as well for all the events for this year and for next year online.
Wonderful.
And then the contact number. Please maintain contact with them and find it, and also share it with other businesses, because if you're in business mentoring, this is what we find. Most businesses don't know what's available, right? So this is why it's important for you guys, every one of you that are here, is actually just to share that information with other businesses. You understand that, please access, please contact and find out when the other dates is. I mean, it's free, and the sad thing is that just on the city's e-portal services, there's roughly about 4,500 vendors. There was 14,500 vendors that was registered under the old system. So only 4,500 is on the e-services portal, which is really crazy. That there's so few businesses that was previously registered that is actually competing. So there's not a lot of businesses in certain sectors that is actually registered as vendors. Remember, there was, before the e-services portal went up, that was just before COVID, there was 14,500. Now there's only 4,000 on the new e-services portal, which is, so a lot of the businesses hasn't registered on the new e-services portal, especially in some sectors. Not a lot of companies competing. It's good for the companies competing that's competing, because now there's less companies there, that they're competing, and they are getting more work. But as far as the city's concerned, they like competition. The city wants more businesses to be competing. They want more competition you know, and the city wants that as well. So we hope that you guys share that information with other businesses, just to get more businesses on, especially young businesses, women-owned businesses in certain sectors, ICC sectors. There's very few businesses in those sectors, and there's just so much opportunities, you know, for them through the city, and it's so quick. 5-10 minutes. I mean, you can literally do 10 RFQs in bed before you get up in the morning. And remember, that wasn't like that before. So it's the city's done a lot just to make it easier, you know, to make it easier for businesses, but still not a big uptake, unfortunately. So yeah, so we hope over the next couple of months there'll be more companies registering and making use of the opportunities. Is there any more questions?
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
For the last one, Mr. Smith.
Go for it.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'll give the next one a chance.
Go for it.
Thanks, Mr. Smith, for the feedback. And I agree, the city have done really a lot in terms of making the services more accessible to the communities. One more thing, your email address. How do we?
You get the WhatsApp. So the WhatsApp number at the end. That's my WhatsApp number. Yeah, and it's always on. It's always on. On the last page, the 083 number. Okay. On the last page of the slide, I'll just put it on quickly. It's 08. In fact, I'll just put it quickly in the chat box for those that does not have it. But remember, I'm going to send you the slides anyway. It's on the last page of the slides. 083 5979 687. There we go. 083 5979 687. I put it in the chat. Let me just see. To everyone. 083 5979 687. There we go. I just sent it to everyone on the chat. Okay. Who was it? Were you finished, Christopher? Who was next? There was someone that came in. Was it?
It was me, but I thought there was someone earlier, so I thought I would give them a chance. I think it was Zandile. I'm not sure if they're still going to ask a question.
Do you have who was it that had a question? Was it Zandile or was it?
It was Zandile, I think.
Zandile, go for it. If you still have your question.
No, it wasn't me. Thank you. She can go ahead.
You can go ahead. You can go ahead.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Khalid. I've got a question. It's something that usually confuses me as well when filling in the RFQs, but mostly for supply.
Yes.
Which talks to local content. Can you please explain a bit what that means and how?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll explain what that means, right? If you supplying a product or service that's locally manufactured, the city wants to know, for example, it's something which has been imported, okay, and then sold, or something which was locally manufactured, right? Which means that if it was 100% locally manufactured, that is what you're going to put there as percentage of the product. So let's say, for example, you manufacturing clothing, right? So you manufacture clothing, but you import all the cotton. In other words, that's a percent. They want to know what percentage you are using, and that's either manufactured or sourced locally. That's it, because the city wants the choice. They want the choice, because if they choose a product that is just imported, that there isn't any local content, and they have to choose between a similar product that is locally manufactured, they can also sustain other local businesses manufacturing or supplying those goods. You need to put the percentage of ownership in it, right? So that is what they're saying. If it's 100% local, then you just put 100% local. If it's 50% local, which means certain stuff is imported because you don't have it here, so it's imported, and then 50% is local. So that is, and that's important for the city. Remember, the more local, the better, but it's not always possible with certain things. to have that, because it impacts the cost also, right? You must remember the certain goods, especially ICT, software and all of those type of things. ICT things are very, very expensive. Also medical supplies and engineered medical stuff. A lot of those things are not available here, right? You have to import those things from other countries. So some of them are cheaper. It's cheaper to import them than actually to supply local. So the city will actually prefer in those cases to pay a bit more, but then rather support a small business rather than import it. Also, time is an issue for them. So you must remember, on certain RFQs, they don't want to wait. They would prefer having something that's available on the ground than something that still needs to be imported. So those are the factors that they put in when you're supplying goods. And remember, you're supplying goods. Your profit margins is very tight. So it's very tight, and most of the time it's very close, your costing. So those are the things that's going to make the difference to those quotes. Is local content, all of those things. That's what they decide on when they sit around the committee on making a decision. Because on most of the time, remember, it doesn't need to be unless it's states lowest cost first or price only. If it doesn't state that, then yeah, the costing, it doesn't need to be the cheapest. Remember, it just needs to be within the top three for them to be able to motivate, and they do that, right? Just to explain how that works, if you're in the top three on your costing and functionality, then the project manager does not need to motivate, because like you're there. Right? If you're outside the three, they have to actually motivate. Now it's more work, and most of the time they don't, because I mean, who likes doing more work? No one likes doing more work. So now they have to motivate. They have to write the motivation, and that's some of the things which they will use to write that motivation. Is local content. Okay, I hope that answers your question. Is there any more?
Comprehensively.
Okay, great. Is there any more questions? Can we close? If there's no more questions, I'm going to leave you to your businesses. Let me just see. Christopher, that's an old hand. Is that an old hand or a new hand? I'm thinking. I think maybe that's an old hand. Is there no more hands? Let me just check the question. There's no question. Thank you very much. Then, yeah. Then we are done. So thank you very much, everyone. If there's no question, I'm going to give you one more chance. Is there any last questions? If not, then we are going to close. Naeem, do you have all the forms? Remember, if you haven't completed any of the forms, just put your email address and Naeem will email them to you. Remember, we're going to send you a recording, and we're going to send you the PowerPoint, and we're going to send you 1 or 2 forms to assist if you are not registered. And we will also send you the dates for the up and coming workshops. We have the last workshop is going to be in November. I'll send you the date for that. It's a follow-up session on this one. So we will invite you to that last session. Naeem will keep your contact details if you have registered. If you've completed all the registration, the attendance documents, and he will contact you for those special workshops that we're going to have, which is follow-up sessions, because I know we can only cover so much in one session. We will have a follow-up session with you guys towards the end of the year to give you guys a nice boost, for the next year. Okay, so thank you very much, and we have done. Thank you, Naeem. Can you just make sure that everyone's Naeem put the feedback forms again. Those that has not. For everyone else, I hope you have a great day. Thank you very much. For everyone else, I hope you have a great day. And we will see you in the next webinar. We will see you in the next webinar. Keep well, guys. Thank you very much.